Hello, I'm Mark Uncapher, sitting in for Casey Aiken, and this is 21 This Week. Coming up next, state transportation charges are due to go up. Is that too much? What will the Trump guilty verdict impact be? And the state overfunding MCPS. Are layoffs in the cards? Our panel of insiders will give you the story behind the story. We're joined by former county council member and president at Rebuilding Together Montgomery County, Nancy Floreen, and vice chairman of the Maryland Republican Party, Dwight Patel. Stay tuned for these stories and more on the next 21 This Week. Maryland motorists will have to dig deeper into their pocket when renewing their vehicle registrations after July 1st. Under new rates that take effect, the cost of registering a passenger vehicle will increase by 60 to 75%. Passenger cars weighing in excess of 3,700 pounds will cost $323 for 2-year registration. Nancy, there is even a surcharge on EV and plug-in hybrid. Should the various transportation charges that the state applies be going up?
Well, the cost of everything, as you know, is going up. It's interesting. I looked this up. Basically, the cars that are going to take the hits to a certain extent are your SUVs, which of course seem to be the car of choice these days. They actually, as far as I could tell, they reduce the charges for smaller cars. So there is an incentive there, such as it is, to go with a car that's less than 3,700 pounds, which I'm told is subcompact sedan, hatchbacks, compacts, mid-sized cars. Really aren't going to feel the same hit that the SUVs are going to feel.
Well, I got to say, I know Dwight's got the biggest car that I know of, so he'll be taking it too. But Dwight, transportation infrastructure costs money. There's no really getting around that. How should the state pay for it?
Well, there's a lot of innovative ways of doing it without going into the automobile owners or SUV owners, which are the safest cars on the road. There's public-private partnerships the state could try. There are, we could use toll roads like the Bob Ehrlich Expressway, the ICC, congestion pricing like they do in Virginia on I-66, as well as they do that on the Bob Ehrlich Expressway. Those are just 3 ideas. Then we could also do grants from the federal government. If our members of Congress are on their ball, they can bring us some federal dollars for some of the infrastructures that is badly needed, such as widening 270, widening the Beltway, and so on. I don't think it's fair to tax for automobile owners or people who have large SUVs to have to pay the brunt of this, considering the small cars are unsafe. If you're in an accident, more likely to die. And I have just a personal experience. A couple years ago, my Yukon was rear-ended by a Camry on the Baltimore-Washington Parkway, which went underneath and bounced back. But when I got out, if I didn't go to the back of the car, I think it was a Corolla that hit me. I mean, it just totally, rear-ended the back, and my car was totaled as a result. But those small cars are not safe when you have big trucks, SUVs. In our area, we've got dump trucks on the highways. We got all these work trucks, work vans. It's just not safe. Safety should be paramount, frankly. And there's a lot of innovative ways of paying for in transportation stuff without going after the automobile driver, like gas tax increases and toll, so on.
Nancy, do you have a thought?
Yeah, they've tried all that, and they will continue to do that. They will continue to impose tolls where they can. It's all a question of
I don't think
what the
really
legislature will
answer.
choose to do. And and frankly, the increases are not that significant. I think that 60% number is a bit overstated. I checked the state a registration law just before we got on, and it seemed to be a more modest increase.
But Nancy, how much?
Nonetheless, we're going to continue to see those kinds of increases because the cost of transportation construction is extraordinary.
And well, let me switch. Let me shift gears here. It's not often that a government and politics show like 21 gets to take up a topic that's near and dear to Swifties. Those are the fans of Taylor Swift. However, Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown has joined an antitrust lawsuit against Live Nation and its Ticketmaster subsidiary. Live Nation serves as the exclusive ticketer for all large concert venues in the state, including the Fillmore in Silver Spring, Pier 6 in Baltimore, and the Maryland Hall in Annapolis. Dwight, has Live Nation gotten too big?
No, it hasn't. Frankly, I'm not a big believer in breaking up monopolies. I was against the antitrust lawsuit against Microsoft. I think this is basically just big government overreaching, frankly. Build a better mousetrap and people will come to you. You don't have to go to Ticketmaster, buy your tickets. If there's other venues, you can go to StubHub, and there is competition. There's no reason for Live Nation to be subjected to any lawsuits and so on. I mean, you have exclusives in other products. There are sometimes you got Target exclusives where you can only buy this certain product at Target. Is that a monopoly? Are we going to go after Target for Target exclusive buys and stuff like that? It's just a bad idea when government tries to tell business what to do, frankly.
Nancy, is this an issue that the Maryland AG should be taking on?
Well, I'm sure they're just adding their name to a list and someone else is taking the lead. Let's agree, a lot of Marylanders go to concerts. Anybody try to buy a ticket to see the Sting concert coming up or anything like that? The costs are extraordinary. And so my feeling is a bunch of Justice Department attorneys decide to buy tickets and we're just blown away by the added charges. This stuff runs to hundreds now, and it's a very expensive proposition. I'm not sure it's a major priority of anybody in this country, but it's a fact that ticket prices are getting really extraordinarily high, and I think do not reflect the actual cost of the concert or the benefits to the singer. It is all going to transactional costs. So it's an interesting act. We'll see what happens.
It's interesting you mentioned going after other things. One of the things that the news reports have talked about is a possible antitrust suit against Amazon. Now, there's obviously many people go to concerts, but probably Amazon has a much more widespread impact. What are your thoughts? Should Amazon be the next target?
I don't think so, Mark. I mean, as one who is pretty much opposite of everything Jeff Bezos stands for, except his space program. But I'll say this, Amazon's the best thing out there. Build me a better mousetrap and I'll go use them. But right now, it's, basically all this would be is a subsidy for people that have poor internet presence, And here's the thing, and Amazon does have competition. Walmart and Target are Amazon's biggest competitors. And then you have at Amazon, you also have small businesses that have Amazon shops. So we're supporting small business when you buy from Amazon, while you buy from Target and Walmart, you're supporting, Target and Walmart, who buy most of their stuff from China.
Well, if I were Home Depot or Stroh Snyder's or any of those other reasonably sized companies, I would be pretty ticked at Amazon. You can. I do a lot of Amazon shopping, and Amazon is incredibly convenient, delivery to the door by and large, much and price competitive with these other operations. So it's a great advantage to consumers. With one click, you can have something delivered to your isolated location in a day or two, which is far better than services offered by other companies. But they are getting to be the only source, and so it's going to be an interesting conundrum for this country and how we look at corporations like this that are controlling such a massive part of the marketplace. It's interesting. We'll see what happens. Again, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if something were launched to take a look at this, but this is an international experience. And, I doubt it's going to be easy to pull in the reins.
Yeah. With that said, Nancy, we still, there's other large corporations that people don't want to look like Facebook. Facebook is a monopoly that should be broken up, but nobody wants to talk about it because they're left leaning for the most part. Again, you build a better mousetrap, people will use it. I remember when Windows was considered a monopoly. Now look at all the options you have for operating systems out there.
There you go. Well, let me switch topics here. Last Thursday, car horns were honking on Rockville Pike. They were celebrating the Trump guilty verdict in New York. Now, perhaps that's no surprise in deep blue Montgomery County, but tell me, Nancy, what do you think the impact of that verdict in New York will be on the presidential election?
I'm curious to hear from you guys. You guys are the Republicans. And do you subscribe to what's being said by Republican leadership right now? That you cannot trust the judicial system, that all of this was a political effort by Biden. Is that something you think Montgomery County Republicans subscribe to?
Well, actually, the point is this election is still a referendum on Bidenomics and Joe Biden's failed policies. If you remember, from foreign policy to domestic policies, we got wars all over the place. He's basically dropping the ball on Israel. Basically, he doesn't want to support our best friend in the Middle East, the only democracy in the Middle East. We've got families are paying upwards of $150 on groceries. Our gas price is still around $3.60. It's pushing up to going to be around $4 probably sometime over the summer. Families are suffering, and I think the big picture is it? Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? And I think for most honest families, they'll say no, they're not. 4 years ago, I was not paying $4 for a gallon of milk.
Okay, so you're saying that the verdict is going to have no influence on people's view about democratic institutions. That's what I'm asking you.
No,
because that's what the leadership is saying.
Well, first of all, it's not going to have an effect on the elections. The only effects it's going to have is, I think, we're hearing overnight polls have showed more independents and moderate Democrats are leaning towards President Trump now over President Biden as a result. I think you're
not responding to my question, which is, do you subscribe to the same view, or do you think Montgomery County Republicans subscribe to the same view that the judicial system is broken?
Well,
that's all I'm asking. Not about the election, General. I understand what you're saying.
You ask Will Jawanda, ask him what he thinks about the legal system. Is it broken or not? I think Will Jawanda will agree with President Trump and the Republican leadership as in the judicial system is broken.
That's interesting.
Tell me, Nancy, what do you think of the impact of the election is? Are you going to turn the tables there?
I don't think it changes, certainly the views of people who do not support Mr. Trump. They still don't support him. They never did. They won't in the future. I don't think, frankly, I don't think the election comes down to anything other than which team are you on? I don't think it's policy. I don't think people switch parties. I think the real question is, what about the people, the independents and the people on the fringes, and how many people are going to show up to vote? Turnout will be everything, I think. And I don't think that this decision does anything other than validate people's views of whatever they think, to put it that way. So it'd be interesting. I don't think it changes anything. I think, but I am curious about people who are serious Republicans and how they think about character. I find that an interesting question.
Bill Clinton told us all this stuff is personal stuff, and we don't need to be worried about that. That's what Bill Clinton said.
I'm asking you what Mr. Patel thinks.
I think one
character irrelevant.
Yeah. Okay, let's get this. Character does matter. Let's look at Joe Biden's character. Let's look at his questionable dealings with the Chinese. Those top secret documents he hid in his Corvette. Character counts, and Joe Biden's character counts too.
All right. Well, stay tuned. We'll come back and talk about MCPS and the budget challenges that it's facing.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet,
We discover
they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure,
Pure love.
love.
I confess I'm confused about the debate over the county budget and allotment for the public school system. As I understand it, the county council added more money to the school budget than the county executive originally recommended. But the county executive then criticized the council for not adding even more money. Nancy, can you help me out here? Because I'm really having trouble following this.
Well, at the end of the day, the school system got, in this budget, let's see, they got $3 billion, $3.292 billion. As someone who used to approve these budgets not that long ago, that's about double what we used to approve. It's an extraordinary amount. What the school system is ticked off about, apparently, is they requested $60 million more. So that actually is what they're arguing about. And it's too late. They're acting as if the sky is falling. If that were the case, they would have said that after the county executive issued his budget earlier, which was less, $50 million, I think, less than what the council actually approved. So MCPS needs to get its act together as to what it really needs and how they're going to convey that to the public. Yelling about it the last couple days before the final budget approval doesn't get you anywhere in the county council. And I think it's a lot of Sturm und Drang over not too much. They didn't get everything they want. That's never going to happen. They're never going to get every single thing they want. Many years we actually gave them more than they requested when we could afford it. It's still a boatload of cash if there were someone who could actually exercise oversight, maybe we would have a better sense of how well it's being spent.
So Dwight, as Nancy said, the MCPS got less money than they originally asked for, but now, according to news reports, they're talking about layoffs. So
This is crazy. I actually agree with a lot of what Nancy said. Frankly, I think MCPS, I want to know how much is this money actually getting into the classroom, because we all seen those commercials about it's about the children, how, cutting this will mean cutting property taxes will mean your kids will be stuck in a dilapidated classroom, which is patently untrue, frankly. MCPS schools are some of the finest schools in the state of Maryland, or should I say the Mid-Atlantic, or even the country. I think it's just MCPS wields so much power over the county council that they're basically flexing their muscles, saying, give us more or else, we'll find somebody to replace you at the next election cycle. And that is the problem when you have such a hyper-partisan board and activist teachers who are all lockstep with whatever their unions tell them to do. They want more money. The layoffs, let's start laying off some teachers is what I say. Let's do that. If they're talking about layoffs, I encourage, yes, trim the fat. Let's get rid of the bad teachers that basically just do social promotion, that aren't educating the kids, that are just there to collect a paycheck and pushing the radical left agenda down our kids' throats in MCPS, opposed to teaching to STEM education. I'd like to also know how much money of this money is going to go towards STEM education, or is this money going to go for some of the woke ideology stuff that they're pushing?
But Nancy, I think I have the answer to this, but let me get you on the record here. Is this layoff threat for real, or is it just political posturing?
I assume it's posturing, but I don't know. I don't know. The problem is it's not so much that MCPS has such power over the county council. It's that the law requires the county to give MCPS as much as they did the year before, plus other inflationary adjustments as well.
The
There's this
council can't
maintenance of
change that
effort
law,
law
Nancy?
that was passed by the legislature that keeps that all government, local governments in a bind in terms of school system spending. So that's one of the challenges that Montgomery County has. And, they do need to pay for other things as well. But I do think this business about layoffs is just scare tactics. They brought it up at the last second. I mean, if they really thought that was the case, they should have said that when the county executive issued the proposed operating budget. They didn't.
But Dwight, Cecil County, the incumbent Republican county executive was defeated in the primary a few weeks ago. And the top issue there was funding their local school system. And the charge or the claim, the issue was that the county executive wasn't providing what the school system wanted, and Republican voters voted her out. Where are Republican primary voters on this?
I think Republican primary voters are pretty much where I am, where we think, like, just looking at Montgomery County, we are, we're spending way more money on education. I think the council should look at changing the law that says we have to give you the same amount every year, and then some. I know that's like a radical idea of just changing the law to not do that. And, they say they've got a teaching the shortage for teachers in Montgomery County, and now they're talking about layoffs. So I think we solved that teaching shortage problem, by laying off even more teachers. So I think this is a bunch of smoke and mirrors by the unions trying to flex their political muscles they're trying to get as much as they can.
Well, how radical can it be if both you and Nancy agree on maintenance of effort? So maybe there's hope for the future. When we return, we'll have parting shots.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. Alright, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Now with parting shots, first, Dwight Patel.
My parting shot is at the Montgomery County Council, who basically decided to give the teachers union even more than they want. The teachers union are saying, shame on you, County Council, shame on you, Evan Glass. How is it that you traipse around the country, you go to a place in Korea, you go have your ice cream on the boardwalk during Mako, and you want to vote for, you basically decide want to give the teachers even more than what they asked for. Now they're saying they want even more. Shame on you guys. Change the law, County Council.
Nancy?
Well, the law that Mr. Patel is talking about is a state law. So good luck with that. And was designed to address the needs in other jurisdictions, not Montgomery County, but it does apply to us. But I want to say to everybody, take a break. It's a beautiful day. It's going to be a great summer. put the politics aside, go outside, be part of nature, get some exercise, enjoy our wonderful parks, the C&O Canal, and all that Montgomery County has to offer. You're paying for it, so enjoy it.
Well, thank you, Nancy. Although we do want people to spend enough time indoors to watch 21 this week, right?
Indeed, yeah.
Thank you for appearing this week, and thank you for the audience tuning in each week to Montgomery County's hardest hitting political talk show. For 21 this week, I'm Mark Uncapher, sitting in for Casey Aiken.